Have you ever felt like something was just off in your relationship? Like there were little clues, small behaviors that didn't quite add up, but you couldn't put your finger on why. Maybe she disappears for hours without a real explanation. Maybe she's oddly secretive with her phone. Or maybe deep down, you have a gut feeling that you're not the only one in her life. If that sounds familiar, then you need to watch this video until the very end, because today, we're breaking down 6 clear signs that a woman might secretly have multiple lovers. This could save you from heartbreak, deception, and wasted time. But before we dive in, do me a quick favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps, and I promise to keep bringing you valuable content just like this. Now let's get into it. 1. She's extremely protective of her phone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been sitting next to your girl, just enjoying a casual moment together, and suddenly her phone buzzes? You glance over, not even intentionally, just a reflex. But before you can even see anything, she flips her phone face down or quickly tucks it away. Now think about this. How did that make you feel? Maybe you brushed it off. Maybe you told yourself, she just values her privacy. But deep down, something about it felt off, didn't it? Here's the thing, privacy is normal. Everyone deserves it. But in a healthy, committed relationship, secrecy isn't. There's a huge difference between the two. Think back to when you first fell for her. Those late-night conversations. The way she used to smile at your texts. The way she'd excitedly share things with you. Back then, did she ever feel the need to hide her phone? Probably not. But now, if her phone is always locked away, always flipped over, and she gets weirdly defensive anytime you ask something simple like, "Hey, who texted?" That's a red flag. The secretive phone behavior. Here's where things get interesting. Women who juggle multiple lovers have to compartmentalize their relationships. That means keeping everything separate. One man doesn't know about the other, and the only way to keep that up? The phone becomes the ultimate vault of secrets. So what do? Sudden habit changes. She never cared before, but now her phone is constantly on Do Not Disturb. She leaves the room to take calls. Why does she suddenly need privacy just to answer a call? Quick app closures. You walk into the room, and boom, she instantly swipes away from a screen. Defensive reactions. The moment you ask about her phone, she says, "Why don't you trust me?" instead of simply answering. Think about it. If someone has nothing to hide, they won't act like they do. So now I want you to ask yourself, have you ever felt this in your relationship? Have you ever noticed these subtle changes? If so, don't ignore it. Stay with me, because this is just the first sign, and as we go deeper, you might start seeing the bigger picture. 2. She's emotionally distant but physically present. Let me take you back to the early days of your relationship. Do you remember how she used to look at you? The way her eyes would light up when you talked? The way she'd lean in, hanging on to every word you said? Back then, she was fully present. She wasn't just physically there, she was emotionally connected. Now let me ask you, does she still look at you like that? Or has something changed? Maybe you're still spending time together, but it feels different. She's there sitting next to you, but it's like she's somewhere else, distracted, distant, uninterested. You tell her about your day, but she barely reacts. You make a joke, but she forces a small smile instead of that genuine laugh she used to have. She used to text you first, checking in, wanting to know how you were doing. But now, it's mostly you initiating, and her replies feel dry, like she's just going through the motions. What happened? Here's the harsh truth. When a woman is emotionally invested in someone, she's fully engaged. She listens. She remembers details. She makes you feel like you're the only man in the world. But when she's dividing her attention between multiple men, that deep emotional connection fades. Why she becomes emotionally distant? When a woman is juggling multiple lovers, she has to manage emotional energy. She can't give the same level of passion, care, and attention to everyone. So she starts pulling away from the ones she's less attached to, or the ones she's keeping as a backup. She might still be around, but she's not really present. She might still respond to your messages, but only because she feels obligated, not because she genuinely wants to. She might still be intimate with you, but you can tell there's no real emotional depth behind it anymore. And here's the scary part, you'll feel this before you fully understand it. Your gut will tell you something's off. So let me ask you, have you ever felt like she was pulling away, even when she was right next to you? Have you ever caught yourself wondering, why does it feel like she doesn't care anymore? If so, keep watching, because we're only getting started. 3. She disappears without a clear explanation. Let me ask you something, have you ever had a moment where you were really looking forward to spending time with her? Maybe planning a nice evening together, but out of nowhere, she vanishes? You send a text, no reply. You call straight to voicemail. Hours pass. Then suddenly she messages back like nothing happened. Oh, sorry, I was super busy. Busy with what? Now I want you to think back to the early days of your relationship. Remember when she couldn't wait to talk to you? When even in the middle of a hectic day, she'd find a way to check in? Even a simple, "Hey, I miss you" message would pop up. But now she's constantly busy, disappearing for long periods, and when you ask about it, she gives you vague answers. Let's be real here, when someone truly values you, they don't disappear without explanation. The vanishing act, what's really happening? Women who are juggling multiple lovers have to manage their time carefully. It's a balancing act, one where she's making sure each man gets just enough attention to keep him around. So when she vanishes for hours or even an entire day, it's not because she was too busy. It's because she was with someone else. Here's how you know it's a red flag. She disappears at the same times regularly. Maybe it's always on weekends, at night, or during holidays. She dodges your questions instead of giving you a real answer. She says things like, "Ugh, why are you asking so many questions?" She's inconsistent. One day she's all over you. The next she's MIA. Now I want you to think about this. Have you ever been left hanging, wondering where she was and why she didn't bother to check in? And here's the worst part, if you bring it up, she'll probably make you feel crazy for even asking. "What, do you think I'm cheating or something?" she might say, flipping the blame onto you. But deep down you feel it. So, let me ask you, have you ever experienced this? If so, stay with me because we're about to dive even deeper. 4. She's hot and cold with her affection. Let me ask you something, do you remember the first time she made you feel on top of the world? Maybe it was the way she held your hand in public, the way she looked at you like you were the only man that mattered, or the sweet messages she sent making you feel wanted. Back then it felt effortless, didn't it? Now fast forward to today. One moment she's all over you, calling you her favorite person, acting like she can't get enough of you. And then boom, out of nowhere she pulls away. She stops texting as much. She seems distant. She's suddenly too tired or too busy. It's confusing, right? One day you're the center of her world. The next you feel like a complete afterthought, the roller coaster of mixed signals. Here's what's really happening. Women who have multiple lovers often go through emotional shifts. She has to divide her attention, which means that on certain days, you're her priority while on others, someone else is. Think about it like this. On the days when she's affectionate, she's trying to keep you hooked. She gives you just enough to make you feel special, just enough to make you stay. On the days when she's distant, she's investing her time in someone else. This cycle repeats, and the worst part, it keeps you chasing. Because every time she pulls away, you start wondering what went wrong. And every time she comes back, you feel relieved, like things are normal again. Is she breadcrumbing you? This pattern is called breadcrumbing, giving someone just enough love and attention to keep them around, but never enough to make them feel truly secure. And let's be honest, it messes with your mind, because deep down you start doubting yourself. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe she's just going through a tough time. But let me tell you this, when a woman is truly into you, her love isn't inconsistent. She doesn't treat you like a priority one day and an afterthought the next. So let me ask, have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you were being played with? Like her love was there one moment and gone the next? If so, don't go anywhere, we're just getting started. 5. She avoids making future plans with you. Let me ask you something, do you remember the first time you and her talked about the future? Maybe it was something small, like planning a weekend getaway, or imagining what your next big adventure together would be. Back then, she was excited. She wanted to make plans. She looked forward to spending time with you. But now every time you bring up the future, she suddenly gets evasive. You ask her, "Hey, let's plan something for next month." And she replies with, "Let's see," or "I don't like planning too far ahead." Or maybe you suggest something romantic, like going on a vacation together, and she dodges the topic completely. At first you might think, maybe she's just spontaneous and doesn't like planning. But deep down, something doesn't feel right, does it? Why she's avoiding commitment? Here's what's happening. A woman who's juggling multiple lovers can't fully commit to one person because she doesn't know which man she'll be prioritizing in the future. If she commits to a trip with you next month, what happens if the other guy she's seeing wants to spend time with her that same weekend? If she locks herself into a future plan with you, it limits her flexibility to be available for someone else. So instead of saying yes to plans, she keeps things open-ended. She might say, let's play it by ear, or I'll let you know when it gets closer, or even, I just don't like making long-term plans. But here's the thing, when a woman is truly invested in you, she's excited about the future with you. She wants to create memories, build something meaningful, and look forward to what's next. Avoiding future plans isn't random behavior, it's a calculated move. Have you felt this before? Now take a moment and think. Have you ever been in a situation where you were trying to build something real with a woman, but she kept avoiding locking anything down? You wanted something solid, but she only gave you vague answers. If so, you're not crazy for noticing it. And you're definitely not alone. Stick with me, because as we go deeper, things will start making even more sense. 6. Your gut tells you something's off. Let me ask you, have you ever had that nagging feeling in the back of your mind, when everything seems perfect on the surface, yet something just isn't right? Picture this. You're sharing a quiet dinner together, laughing about old memories, and suddenly a thought hits you. It's subtle at first, a fleeting doubt, but it lingers. That's your gut speaking up. Think back to the early days of your relationship. Remember how every moment felt genuine? You'd laugh until your sides hurt, share your deepest secrets, and feel that unspoken bond. There was a time when you trusted her completely, and nothing ever crossed your mind except the joy of being together. But over time, maybe you started noticing little inconsistencies. A story here didn't quite add up. A smile there felt a bit forced. And then that gut feeling crept in. Now, let's be honest, intuition is a powerful thing. It's that inner voice that sometimes whispers, hey, something's not adding up. It might tell you that she's not fully present when you're together, or that her eyes seem to wander when she thinks you're not looking. Have you ever felt that twinge of uncertainty during a quiet moment, when her laughter didn't quite reach her eyes? Maybe you've even caught her glancing at her phone when you thought she was fully engaged with you. It's as if your subconscious is piecing together clues that your heart might be too afraid to acknowledge. And while it might be uncomfortable to consider, ignoring that inner voice can sometimes lead to bigger heartbreaks down the road. Have you ever experienced that moment of doubt, when you wondered if everything was really as it seemed? Maybe a memory comes to mind, one that reminds you of a time when things felt off, and you wished you had listened to that inner warning. I invite you now to think about your own love stories. Have you ever had a moment where your gut just wouldn't let you be at ease? What were the little signals that you wish you had paid more attention to? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experiences could help someone else who's feeling that same subtle unease. Remember, your intuition is like a silent guardian. It's always there to protect you. So trust that feeling and let it guide you in your journey of love. Stay with me, because understanding these feelings is the first step towards nurturing a healthier relationship. Closing thoughts. At the end of the day, relationships are built on trust, honesty, and emotional connection. If you start noticing multiple signs that don't add up, don't ignore them. The worst thing you can do is lie to yourself, just because you don't want to face the truth. Not every woman is unfaithful, and not every woman with these behaviors has multiple lovers, but if these signs resonate with you, it's time to ask some serious questions. What do you think? Have you ever experienced any of these signs in your own relationship? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.